Okay, Ben, this is it. You get the pieces you are going to use for the design. Make sure it's 1.5 inches wide. 1.5 inches wide. Make sure it's 1.5 inches wide. Then the length should be 2 times longer than the length of the flap. If the length of your flap is 15, make it 30. Okay, and make sure it's 1.5. If you're using thick liner, there will be no need of gumming it and paper gum, but it's necessary, so that when you are bending, once you bend it will stay strong and you wouldn't have stress in ironing. But while using this is cashmere now, you can attach paper gum, place it on it exactly the measurements of the pieces you cut out. Then you gum. After gumming, take your time to gum. Remember what I said, it will be 2 times the length. This is just a template just to show you, not that is exactly the length you will need. It will be 2 times longer than the length of your flap, so that it's better it remains more than to say it's more. Now, there are two ways of turning it. You can sew it like a belt loop, that is belt holder, then turn it to the front, or you can bend it this way and this way. Okay, but I will advise you to do it like belt holder, turn it to the front, so that your work will be neater. As we go on, you will understand what I'm saying. So I'm just going to bend it to two sides so that it will be fast. Then I will go to the next episode. Okay, so just iron it and make it neat. Okay, do your ironing. All right, iron the two side. Now you can use water, but as for now, why it's staying is because of the paper gum I used. So, but if you didn't gum it, you would have to sprinkle a little water on it so that it will stay well. Okay. Okay, this is it. Make sure it's straight. Trying to straighten it. Make sure the whole side is equal. You don't want it to be bent, because any small slant shift in the straight line, it will surely give you. So if you're not using what's it called, steam iron, you would have to wet the clothes. Wet it so that you get a nice finishing while doing the particular design itself. Okay, so now we start. And in case you have a lot of allowance after you must have bent the two side, you would need to trim off a bit. As it is now, you trim off a bit of it. Okay, this is it now. Now the first step, watch closer, you see what I did. I will still give you a closer look of it. Okay, so now if you are using a normal measurement, like you did it 2 times longer than the flap, you have to give 3 inches before you start this design. 3 inches before you start this design now. Okay, now I said you leave space 3 inches up, then you start the design. Don't mind the one I'm doing here, this is just to show you, but normally you have to give gap of 3 inches up, or 2.5 as the case may be, depending on what you want to do. So the first, you bend it, as you can see closely, as if you are trying to form button loop for your chest pocket, that is on native. After bending, you turn it over to the other angle. Watch closely, you see what I did there. Okay, you now flip as if you are trying to turn button loop for instigator pocket. Then this is the first angle we have turned. So you can iron now, so that it will not scatter, as you are just a beginner, so it will not be okay. Once you've gotten it, now you flip, see the point, the mouth is now, watch what happened there. Yes, you now put it, make sure that the edge of the next angle you are going to create is touching the end edge of the first angle you created. So now this is the second one we are creating. Now look closely the way I'm creating it now, like you are see if you are doing button loop. But this time around the button loop will face downward. You see it, ba? Okay. Look closely. Now. Okay. Make sure you hold it, then you turn again. Just one after the other. You don't need to rush. As you can see, we have created one. This is the second one. We are creating the third one now. Okay. It's as easy as whatever. As easy as whatever you can imagine. Just to know the tactics on how to do it. You can watch this video over and over again so that you can get the actual way. Now once you've reached the point, as in the number where you can't hold anymore, you can iron to keep it flat so that you can go to the next level, to the next, sorry, the next angle instead of level. Okay, so this is it now. We have gotten 3, as you can see. Now don't turn it this way, because once you turn it this way you are exposing it. It will not give you the angle, and you're also exposing the back side of the cloth. Now this is the example how to turn it like button loop, but this time around the button loop will face downward. You see it? Your button, like you are forming a button loop. This is it. Then now this one will go this way and this one will go the other way. Understand? That's how it will be continuously, like you are forming a button loop. One, this is the point. As you can see clearly the way it is, you turn it to this point. One, you see it, right? You make sure that it is matching, it intercepts. If it shifts like the two edges like I showed you. Now this is it. As if you are forming a button loop. This is it. Okay. You make sure you are having a sharp edge. As you can see the way the edges are being pointed, then you go this way again. That is how you do it continuously until you get the point you want it, as in the length you want to attain. And remember, you are leaving 3 inches down and 3 inches up, or 2.5 or 2, depending on how your design comes, depending on the style you are being given or how you want the design to look like. Okay, this is it. This should be the end of this, but for the fact that we are just practicing it, so we can still add one more to explain it better. As you can see, this is it. We held it there. This should explain it for you now, and you go back this way again, and this should be the final point of it. We have done as so far 1 2 3 4 5 6 of it. At least at this point, if you replay this video over and over again, you will get to know what we are talking about. It's as easy as whatever. And remember, we wet the material before we started so that it will stay. And remember to apply your paper gum. The paper gum helps it to relax and make it flexible. Now we are using red flap. Why I'm using red, so that you can see the ash clearly on the red. So we'll go straight to sewing it now. Just wait for the joining. Okay, now this is it. We are going straight to sewing it now. That's only what is remaining. This is just the way it's supposed to look like. I'm using red flap for you to understand well, so that the design will be clear and visible to you. It's as easy as anything you can imagine. You place it and make sure it's at the center. Position everything very well. Then we are going straight to joining it. Then straighten a bit. Okay, time to sew it now. As you can see, it's already on the machine to. Okay, now you will have to sew. Just watch where I'm sewing. From that point straight through the center, that is the space between the two angles, to hold it down. You pass through and sew on until you reach down. I'm going to sew it. Go now until you reach down. You pass through the center until you are